if it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life, but I'm kind of patient.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's currently 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Today, we're going to start a new series of videos because I got a new sponsor, and it's one that I sought out because I've explained in my lives and things for a while now that I'm going to start actively trading. One of my biggest things, and you know, typically as a trader and investor in crypto, I do swing trade. I used to get into scalping a little bit, but I got so busy. Okay. And I'm like, all right, I don't really have the time for this. And in that mindset, I would start accumulating, I would accumulate like now, right? As I've already started to accumulate some, I'm going to be averaging down as I believe the market is going to continue going further down. Looking at the weekly chart here, just to give you a perspective on this. This is the weekly Bitcoin price. And we are ticking up a bit, right? I think we're moving up a little this week, but I think this is ultimately going to be a fake out. And I think from here, probably by Friday, maybe Friday evening or this weekend, I expect to see a reversal and the price to drop much lower as we potentially go down and start heading into another downtrend where we set new lows. That's my opinion. I don't know. This isn't really a full-blown TA video. But that's just what I think is going to happen. And the reason why it's a big deal for me is because typically I accumulate low, I accumulate through the bear market, and then I just ride the wave to the peak, and then I try to exit my position somewhere as close to the peak as I can once I've confirmed that the top was in, and we're probably going to go lower. And the problem with that is that I am not making any money in a bear market. I'm literally making practically nothing. I'm not really actively trading. I should be shorting positions, right? Well, you can't short or long, so to speak, on a spot exchange. You have to have a leverage exchange. Now, granted, I am never going to use higher than a 3x leverage position, whether it's to the short or a long. Never going to use more than 3x. I'm not a degenerate and I'm not a gambler. I'm trying to make very smart moves with the money I invest. Now, I am going to be using this company, which is Bitget. Okay. They are my new sponsor. Now, there's a link in the description below. If you click that, it'll take you to my landing page, and there are bonuses and things associated with setting up an account with Bitget. I am not telling you I think you should do that. I'm telling you they are sponsoring me. They are paying me to utilize their exchange for my trading. And I went after them after somebody else who I know is a very active trader says, hey, I like using this company. They've proven to be pretty legitimate. Their platform is solid. I think you'll like it. Check it out. And I did. And I'm like, okay, I like this. And I don't have to use a VPN to access it. And they're growing into one of the biggest leverage platforms out there. So I'm confident. I feel good. Nothing is guaranteed. I am not pushing them. I am letting you know I am personally going to be using them. I have been incentivized to tell you about them, and I feel comfortable using them myself. Okay. You decide for yourself who to go with, what platform to use if you do any of this. Now, moving forward, you know, I just like to keep things on the straight up and narrow. Okay. Now moving forward, I'm going to show you guys an indicator set that is free on TradingView that I am actively going to be using because I've been back testing with it and it's pretty solid. And I'm going to start maybe doing a series of these videos where I'm exposing you to new indicator sets that may or may not be something of interest to you, depending on what you're trying to accomplish in trading. But this is what I'm going to be using. Okay. There are two indicators. And it's actually very, very simple, and it's something I believe everybody can follow. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started on this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this chart to a 15-minute. All right, because this is more prime for scalping. 4 hour and above is typically for swing traders. But if you're looking to maybe day trade, and this can work for just about anything. I'm using it for crypto, but you can use this, I'm sure, for probably Forex, I'm guessing. I'm not a Forex trader, so I don't know 100%. But I'm guessing anything with a chart, this indicator could probably prove pretty valuable to you. And I'm going to change the candles to Heikin-Ashi candles. All right. So now we're running Heiken-Ashi candles, and I love my blue and white because I like to be different. You know, I'm the crow. I do what I do. Now we're going to go into these indicators here. And the first indicator we're going to plug in is the QQE threshold. Now, this is a QQE histogram, and we're going to get into the histograms a little bit. And they're going to be little pop-ups probably somewhere over here. You can't see my hand, explaining a little bit more about these QQE histograms, but they're pretty valuable, and they've proven to be pretty accurate as well for trend momentum and things like that, even in choppy markets. Now, we're going to go into this, the settings here. We're going to go into the inputs. We're going to change this 14 to a 3. And we are going to uncheck color bars. Wait a minute. Yeah. No, style. There we go. Bar color. I want to get rid of the bar color because I want to keep my blue and whites here. And then I'm going to get rid of the plot. Not that one. Just the first two. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get rid of all 3 of these levels because I don't really need those level lines. It's not really what I'm interested in. And then that should be pretty good from here on. Now, this is going to help guide us in terms of confluence when we're using the indicator and the charts or the candles themselves are telling us something. We want to be able to confirm this using the histogram. Now, we're going to go back into indicator and we're going to plug in the letter X. Extreme trend is what we're looking for here. So we're going to add the extreme trend, and you're going to notice we've got some good information here. And so we're going to make some changes to this. We're going to go in the style, and we're going to get rid of this 200 EMA because we don't really need the 200 EMA. That's not what's ultimately important. We've got our shapes, which I like the shapes where they are. Some people may want to remove them, but I'm looking at the shapes as kind of a, hey, look here and then confirm. Okay. And I'll explain that in just a second. But ultimately, this is what I'm looking at here. So I've gotten rid of those shapes. Visibility, I'm going to leave alone. And that pretty much covers that. So now what do we see here? What we see is price action and Heiken-Ashi candles on a 15-minute chart, and we're looking for, and I'm just going to go into the little bits of this because there's not much you really need to understand. And when you back test this, I'd love to know what you come up with because I've been doing it myself, and I'm confident enough that I'm presenting this, and I'm going to be using this to make trades from here. But let's start here and use this as an example. So if we zoom in on the price here, okay, what we have are... we have some transitions. All right. Now, if we look here, we can see that the price is moving from basically more sideways activity. And then we get this trigger arrow where it's saying, okay, we're going down. Right. And if we look down, what we want to see is that the trend line is moving down and changing color. So actually, I'm going to change the color here because I want these colors to be a little different. I want the down to be red, but I want these to be green, really. So let's change that to green. So we're going to change the orange to red, and then we're going to change this to green. There we go. Now we're on to something. All right. So basically, when I see this red arrow, that's a trigger to say, hey, the price is probably changing to the downside. You might want to confirm it. So what I want to see is the green line change to red. I want to see a down candle. So I want to see the candle moving down. And then I want to see a red bar in the histogram. If all 3 of these things line up, then the price is probably going to move down further. And it does. However, you can see that the histogram is pretty low key. Okay, there's nothing significant in here. And if I'm trading this, I'm probably going to trade it, but then I might set a stop loss, and I might set a stop loss, basically where I entered the position, because if the price were to move down and then turn right around like this and come back up, I want out of the trade. It's as simple as that. And I don't want to go too deep into it. And so from there, we're going to see, the price does start to move up even further. So we exited that trade. And this is why you have to keep an eye on this, right? And this is why this is what day trading really is. You're sitting here going back and forth, making these trades, hoping for these big runs, hoping for, big shorts, big longs, so forth and so on. And as the price is moving over, you can see, hey, we're about to transition. You see momentum building, right? So it's going from red candles, it goes orange where it's kind of uncertain. And then it's like, okay, confirm green light, we're moving ahead. So then we get this trigger here and we look at the candle. We've got a green candle, which my green is blue because I just like it better. We get the green candle and then we got a significantly growing green bar in the histogram. Boom, I'm trading this and I'm going to go for a long. And then I'm going to watch this and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch this for an hour and see what happens, right? Now, at some point, I can say, all right, I'm moving up in this trade. And so let's say I get in here. Okay. So let's say I get in at 1349 and I'm riding this up. This is 15 minutes. So an hour from here, I'm up, let's just say I'm mid candle here and I'm watching this. I might set a stop loss and I might set a stop loss here at 1371. And as I'm continuing to watch that, it's still going, it's still moving, it's still green, everything is still green, everything looks good. So by the time all is said and done, if I'm watching this and I'm moving my stop loss up every 15 to 20 minutes as I'm watching this price action, boom, I've got a 13% trade right there if I'm lucky enough to get out of the peak. But I'm probably not going to do that because I'm following the indicator. I'm going to wait for a transition down. Or, if we're in this candle or if we're in this candle, I'm going to raise my stop loss up somewhere around here and try to figure out, okay, where do we go next? At which point my stop loss will have been set somewhere around 11.5%. That's a pretty solid gain at 3x. Okay. And I'm never trading more than 3x on a leverage platform. But from there, I'm going to continue watching this, and then I'm waiting for confirmation that, okay, we're gonna reverse this trend a little bit. We're getting the red, hey, look here and confirm. The trend line changes to red. We got a red candle, and we've got a red bar. So from here, I'm going to probably, if I haven't already been stopped out, as the price reverses and comes back down here, which I likely have, now I'm out of that previous position at profit and I'm waiting to enter a new position. I'm likely going to go into a short here. And here's the thing, when you're doing like 3x leverage, you can scalp trade more effectively because you're not necessarily, so let's say I got into this trade somewhere around here, I see the candle, and then I come down here. That's 2.5%, which is still pretty good for a 15-minute scalp trade. But at the same time, if I'm doing it at 3x, my gains are going to be a little more significant than that. So that's basically the indicator in a nutshell. And again, I'm going to start keeping track of exactly what I'm doing on Bitget. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to start creating a playlist specifically for my trades, and I'm going to start updating you on a regular basis as to, how is this indicator performing? How is it doing for me? How am I earning it? How is Bitget treating me? How do I like the platform? And it's basically going to become a new series on this channel. If you like this and you want more indicators, things that are, more in line with other things that you might be into or ways you might like to trade, I'm more than happy to start doing a consistent, potentially even a daily video showing different indicators that you guys can play with. And I'd love your feedback in the comments below. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Grow your coins.